Hey, it's your buddy Peace and Harmony with you here today. We are focusing in and zooming in on really sort of the hurt, the lasting or residual hurt that comes after being in a relationship with a covert narcissist, really as well as as it compares to someone who is psychopathic. And I get this question asked quite a bit, and that is it deliberate? Is it conscious? Are they conscious of the hurt that they are inflicting? Are they doing this to deliberately hurt me? Are they doing this to consciously make a calculated hurt and to really plan and plot my destruction? And it's really quite different, I would say, the way that the two personality disorders are differentiated between the two types of people. Because a narcissist who has a heightened and pathological sense of self-importance, coupled with a lack of empathy, they're not able to appreciate and value and reflect back to you your needs, wishes, desires, and emotions. So, for example, if you're watching a movie, a love story, and you're feeling for the person who's falling in love, and the way maybe the guy gets caught in the rain while he's trying to, pick up the girl at the house, or, you know what he's feeling. That is empathy, to feel somebody's feelings like you're relating to them. Now, a covert narcissist who lacks empathy, or a psychopath who definitely is devoid of empathy, they don't have that same experience of others. So they have an empathy deficit based on the neural wiring and firing in their brain. They don't have the same activity. So they don't really have that same connection to others when it comes to feeling their feelings, acknowledge their needs, reflecting back to them, mirroring back to them. You're literally on different wavelengths. You're literally, because the brain activity has a voltage, and when you have emotions, you have an energy field that comes and emanates off of you, and each thought really has a voltage. And so if a narcissist has a lot of voltage, if you will, their brain waves are really all about them. So you feel this kind of, charm about them, or maybe a charisma, or there's a certain strength to their personality. And then so you can really look at this in terms of, a voltage or an energy. And so if this energy is not about validating you or acknowledging you, resonating with you, your needs, feelings, wishes, desires, and dreams, and kind of connecting there on the same wavelength, then they are devaluing these, and then you are underneath. So, for example, a narcissist has to energize themselves more, and they do this oftentimes by devaluing others. So they're just able to turn down others' voltage. They are literally, just shutting down their energetic field. They're shutting down their thoughts. They're shutting down their values. They're not, listening, feeling, hearing. So I went to a talk yesterday from Vincent Jenna, and he talked about how narcissists a lot of people do perceive them as having like a large ego. And he has a CD called God and the Ego Are One. And he talks about how the narcissist, instead of really having a large ego, an inflated ego, which is basically thought, by a lot of people say, oh, that guy has such a big ego. He states basically they are lacking in ego. They have no ego. They need other people's ego basically to suck it in. And I found that very interesting. And he furthermore goes on to say that, for example, Jesus had the largest ego of all. And what did he say? I am. I am the Word, the way, and the light. And it's the I am. And then what I have in my heart is also within you. And that God is created in your likeness. So, or you are created in God's likeness. So not to get too religious, but to really understand what it means is that, this importance of empathy and ego, and then the long-lasting effects, and is this conscience, realize that that the ego, if you are with someone who is narcissistic and who is kind of taking from you in order to, feel better about themselves, the deliberation, the acknowledgement, the conscientiousness of it is basically, the narcissist needs to overpower others. So they basically understand in their mind what they can deliver on. They know that they're commitment-phobic. They know that, they have to kind of just sow their oats, that they have a selfishness about the relationship. So if you can look at the giving and taking element in the relationships, you will oftentimes find that the narcissist is generally all about the taking. So, and then you feel fulfilled by giving because you're a giver and you want to give them the affection and the attention and then the applause. And, very interestingly, also yesterday I did speak with a gentleman while I was picking up a book on narcissism and understanding that, he said, oh, wow. He said, I was married to someone who was a narcissist for 7 years. And he says, it always works when, you're working for them, but when you need something, they're never there. So I thought it was very interesting because, the consciousness of this, they really know in really kind of their heart of hearts that they can't make good on the fulfillment. They know that they're really not going to be able to give you what you need, but they want to put on the facade, the mask. They want to string you along. So they're the people who really string others along. They keep, their puppets dancing in the air around them. And whether they really intend to hurt, they know that they can't deliver, but it's oftentimes so repressed and suppressed down that they don't bring this out into their everyday, hey, I'm just taking from you. I mean, they're not going to say that. They wear the facade, the mask, going out on the dates, going out on the vacations, etc., developing the relationships, but they'll always say, that you disappointed them or it's not going to work out because they can't really deliver. They're not accountable, responsible in the way that, one needs to be in a relationship. There has to be boundaries. There has to be the security. You have to be able to value others without feeling like you're losing yourself. And the narcissist, if we go along that train of thought, as Vincent Jenna was stating, that they don't have any ego, so they don't have any security. They don't have kind of a boundary to their own inherent gifts. So, they since they're so insecure, they have such a deficit. They need to basically take from all others around them to feel better, and then they need to push you down. Keep you in the dark to brighten up their light. So, it's not always a very, conscious, but I think at a very subconscious level, the person really knows quite a bit of the time that they are not able to be there for you. They will string you along. They will put on the mask, the facade that they can be present in a relationship, but, it's oftentimes a show. Oftentimes these people, it's an act. And, furthermore, just to ask and speak to that point, now the psychopath will most definitely deliberately and calculatedly manipulate, and hurt others. I mean, they're much more profound and severe, and they're completely lacking of. Not only are they lacking of empathy, but they're lacking of conscience, which means morality, and they really take kind of a pleasure in hurting others, and really they want to see others' demise. They want to see others hurt. They want to see others destroyed, financially, emotionally, sexually, relationship. I mean, career-wise, for some reason they take just a real, they feel puffed up, juiced up, energized, like they have won if they can destroy another. So, that's why you see the violent criminals. You see the other Wall Street criminals. You see, people getting the destruction in the workplace of the psychopathic competitors. In a lot of the certain industries will have a real great mass or a larger mass of these types of people. The politics, the musicians, the movie stars. You'll see more of these psychopaths who really kind of prey on others. They're interspecies predators, and to prey, they know who their scope is. They know who they're looking to prey upon, and they'll deliberately and calculatedly plot their manipulation. So whatever it is that they need to do to get whatever it is that they want from you, they'll make sure, they have no morality. They have no conscience. They don't care that they see people hurt. They don't have the same fear response. So, and they basically know in their, I would say in their, in their teens, when they know that there's something different about them. They know that they process things differently. They have relationships differently. They look at emotions differently. They don't process things the same way. They see kids starting to have relationships and holding hands, and they're like, what is that about? And then they observe, learn, and mimic, and then they kind of, they see empathy as a weakness, and so they exploit that. So, they basically just really will manipulate people and get them to basically be sucked into their scam, and really hurt others. We see this a lot in business, in the financial world, in movies and things of this nature. So whether it's conscious or not, I would say, and I know I try to kind of keep it broad here, on the character disorders, but, it is a knowing. I think, if you were to ask the covert narcissist and, why did you do this to me? It's just, they're going to basically say, you're lacking in the strength, or you're lacking in this, and it's just kind of like in one ear, out the other with them. That's just how they process. And then they will never really kind of take responsibility and accountability. They will basically just say, you disappointed me, or you weren't strong enough. I mean, they will give erroneous information back about you that doesn't, is not accurate. It's self-serving to them. So if they can blame it on you and make it all the fault about you, you weren't, energetic enough, or this enough, or whatever, it's just like, even though you gave them so much, they needed you really more than you needed them. So I think if you can kind of take that, in stride and realize that to repair through this, don't put all the blame, the pressure on you, and self-evaluate in a negative way. Self-evaluate in a positive way, because, along the lines of neuroscience, our belief in ourselves gets destroyed when we're with others who negatively validate. So because this person had kind of created that lack of belief, and, furthermore, your dreams, your ability to see further, that is very much the case. So really realize how important empathy is in relationships. So someone who is able to mirror, acknowledge, validate, and appreciate you for who you are, and that is, that will be really energizing for you. And really, once you have that belief, but if you can do that to yourself, appreciate yourself, and forgive yourself for, momentarily feeling like a victim, but you weren't a victim. This relationship perhaps was to give you a lesson. And so we talk in the Recovery Journal how important it is to acknowledge your lessons learned. These are your lessons. I mean, this is your custom craft school. Life is like a personal classroom. I mean, for people who are on a spiritual path or self-improvement path, or who need support and discussion like we have here on these videos, you're evolving, you're growing, you're looking at ways of enhancing your gifts. And I know we have a lot of creative people. I just have a sense, and I love my viewers, and I really have a feeling that a lot of you are very creative and expansive. You have a very unique gift here. And I think it's so important to tap into that, because that is what empowerment is. It's being able to appreciate yourself and surround yourself with others who appreciate you also and acknowledge you and aren't threatened by acknowledging you, because the narcissist is threatened by, the personal growth of others, because it threatens them. See, if you're to grow, it takes away their light. Your light could outshine theirs. So they're always going to try to put you down, invalidate you, let you down when you most need it, not value your feelings, your emotions, not give you, the love, and not let you know that you are loved. That is the hurt, and that is one of the gravest hurts. So if you can emerge from that and really realize that that is, how these people are. But furthermore, that there are other people that you can attract who will appreciate you, value you, and be able to tune into your feelings. And then that should be a very important quality. I think you might, if your top 10 qualities that you or think about for the people who you surround yourself with, realize that empathy and, respect of you and others' feelings and emotions without being super judgmental might be in your top 3, 5, 10, something like that. Peace and harmony with you here today. I hope these videos do help. Please share and please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support.